This is hands down one of my favorite places on the planet. Hi, I'm Christoph, this is Vanessa. Please join us as we go camping in the Kalahari. Khutse Game Reserve is located at the bottom of the central Kalahari in Botswana. Khutse is 580 kilometers from Johannesburg in South Africa.
Are you ready?
We're stopping over in Botsalano before heading across the Skilpadsak border post, then on to Molepolole, and then finally dirt roads from Letterking all the way to Khutse. We're in the northwest of South Africa after about 3 hours. We hit our first stretch of dirt, not far to go now. We've made it to our first stop, which is Botsalano Game Reserve. I have done a campsite review of it before, but I think I'll come back here soon and do a proper video about it. We're staying in the general camping area. I booked it a little late, so I couldn't find a bush camp, but we're literally just here for tonight, and tomorrow we're on to Khutse. I have written an article about Botsalano as well, so you can have a look for the Weg Wilde Plekke or Go Wild Places magazine. It'll be in there. I prefer the bush camps, but this will do nicely as a stopover. I'm joined by my wife, Venessa, on this trip. Khutse was our very first camping trip together, so safe to say it always brings back a lot of fond memories. Botsalano is a great place to start your Botswana trip. We're off to an early start. It's going to be a long drive. Our trailer has a few different configurations. For stopovers like this, we just pop out the bed and pop up the roof. Very quick and convenient.
Ja.
It's around 7 a.m. now. We're crossing into Botswana at the Skilpadsak border post. Then we head to Molepolole. It's 357 kilometers to Khutse from Botsalano, but this can take up to 8 hours to drive. We're soon in beautiful Botswana, and in the busy little town of Molipolole, where we stock up on provisions and fuel. Letlhakeng is the last town before you hit dirt. Just airing down, we've just hit dirt, so we almost at Khutse. Molipolole was quite busy as usual, but it's pretty much open dirt road from here. Let's go. It's 100 kilometers from Letlhakeng to the Khutse Gate, but this can take up to 2 hours depending on the conditions of the road. Just reached Khutse Gate. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. We left at about 7, so it's a long day's drive. It's very hectic around Molipolole up to Letlhakeng, and then from Letlhakeng up to Khutse there's about, I think, about 80 kilometers worth of not so great dirt road, but we're here and we're heading to camp. We're staying at Khutse camp first, just to overnight because it's closer to the gate, and then tomorrow we head to Moreswe. Khutse Game Reserve was declared a protected area in 1971. This 2,500 square kilometer reserve shares a fenceless border with the central Kalahari Game Reserve. It's time to hitch off the trailer for our first game drive. It's amazing to be back in this place. At Khutse Pan, you can expect scenes like this. Grazing herds of springbok, wildebeest, gemsbok and rooihartbeest, as well as the ever-present call of the northern black Quran squabbling over territory. These goofballs are everywhere and quite entertaining. Our first evening back here does not disappoint. We're on Khutse 1. This used to be my favourite, but elephants have pushed over the single acacia tree, so there's no shade now. I'll show you around just now, but first we're just popping back to the gate. We just went to the Khutse Gate as we're still fairly close to it. Khutse Camp is only about 12 kilometers away from it. So we just topped up on some water in the car's tank. The trailer is full. That's about 140 liters, but we're here for a whole week, so yeah, you do need a whole lot of water. The campsites don't have water, obviously. There's some water at the gate. That's not potable though, so remember to bring enough water. The campsites at Khutse Camp and the rest of the reserve are unfenced with a fire pit and very basic ablutions. Some of the ablutions, like number 2 here, are quite far from the campsite. For your own safety, drive to these at night, don't walk. We also meet some familiar faces. It was great seeing you guys, Karen.
We do pack everything back where it needs to be, but even doing that's a mission. So yeah, I mean, try this.
Khutse number 9 is my favorite, with a nice big acacia tree for shade. Right now though, we're heading to our main destination, Moreswe. There are 2 routes to Moreswe from Khutse, both just under 60 kilometers, and they take up to 2 hours to drive. We're setting up the works now, as we're here for a few days. Behind me are what the ablutions look like in the CKGR and Khutse Reserve. Basically have a pit toilet and a bucket shower. I have to be honest, considering you're paying around more than 700 rands per person per day, these could be in a lot better state. We're heading to the main attraction at Moreswe, the waterhole. It's not far from camp. This usually doesn't disappoint early mornings and late afternoons. Even though it's April already, it's not uncommon to still get thunderstorms, and Khutse's had a lot of rain this year. This only means one thing: another nap. It does clear up in the afternoon though, so let me show you Moreswe. Moreswe is only about 20 kilometers from Moreswe, and the drive takes about an hour. We just came out to Moreswe to show you around. Most of the morning we spent around camp because it was raining, so we just took it easy. So yeah, it's pretty much been my day off. Pretty nice pan. The campsites are sort of around the pan. There's actually some water here as well, and yeah, there's a little bit of game around as well, so nice campsites. Campsite 1 is right on the road with limited shade. Campsite 2 is probably the best with a very nice view of the pan. Campsite 3 is the largest but has no shade. Overall, I like this area. We also bump into some of Vanessa's family, Doan and Esther, and some new friends, Peter and Yvonne. Thanks for the awesome dinner, guys. This is Malose number 2, by the way. It has a great view of the pan. Good morning. We heard lions last night, and early this morning they sounded really close, so we went to the waterhole and we just found them. Quite a nice sighting. It's female with oldish cubs, obviously, but they look to be all male, about five of them. Have a look at this.
Piloya mumtulo wa mimhina Piloya mi umtulo wa mi umtulo wa mimina Impiloya mi Impiloya mumtulo wa mimina Piloya mi umtulo wa
I've been walking for days and days listening to you. You keep on humming the same old tune.
Piloya
All of the things that you've been through match the scars on your face like tattoos.
Piloya mi ebo
In a couple of days we could be gone, leave with nothing and start traveling home. No time to rest, been here before in the undergrowth, divided by the single moon. He said in this town I'm begging to find someone who can save me, and it's been tearing me apart while I've been waiting, and nothing's been that easy for me lately, but the city is my heart and I've been waiting. The city is my heart and I've been waiting. I'm looking for something now. Don't trip or you might stall out. Stop thinking you're too tall. Magnificent, come around. Another trip in the cop car. Take time to reform, yeah. Just give me the food for a while. Why live if you don't fall down? Why live if you don't fall down? Why live if you don't fall in this town? I'm begging to find someone who can save me, and it's been tearing me apart while I've been waiting, and nothing's been that easy for me lately, but this city has my heart. She said in this town there's nothing in my name unless I make it, and it's not written in the stars, but I got patience, and I'll tell my story even if it breaks me, 'cause this city has my heart. Help me with this heavy load.
I'm still getting used to seeing elephants, especially this many, in the Kalahari. I don't recall seeing one elephant here in the early 2000s. Now there are many. Most of them are bulls as well. All this testosterone leads to frequent scuffles. Bird life is also great around the waterholes. That was an awesome lion sighting. We're off to Mahure and Cony at the moment, just to show you around. It's a little bit nippy this morning. Being April, I suppose it's time to get cold already now. And look who we run into again. This is one of 3 main prides in and around Khutse. These lions have vast territories, over 1,000 square kilometers, reaching far into the central Kalahari. Sadly, their numbers are declining in the central and southern Kalahari. Folks that are doing amazing lion and leopard research and conservation work in this area is the Leopard Ecology and Conservation Group. I'll put a link to them in the description below. It's around 30 kilometers to Moreswe from Moreswe and another 11 to Cony. This takes about 2 hours. We're at Mahure now, which is not far from Cony. What's apparent here is I don't think this gets a lot of traffic, not a lot happening here. And it's probably because there isn't any water in the area, so I mean we've seen absolutely zero wildlife here as well. The campsites aren't bad, a lot of them have zero shade, so just watch out for that as well. Campsite 1 is one of those with no shade. Campsite 2 has a big tree for shade. Campsite 3 used to have a big acacia tree, but it seems that's also been pushed over by elephants. We have seen lions in the area on a previous visit though. So this is Cony. It's around the Cony, I think, pan. So you've got a pretty nice view of the pan. This is number 1, and very similar to the rest of Khutse and the central Kalahari, obviously. Incidentally, this is technically in the central Kalahari now. Let me show you around. Campsite 1 is on the road and has limited shade. Campsite 2 has a nice big central acacia tree for shade. Campsite 3 has some shade and a nice view of the pan. Campsite 4 has the best view of the pan, but limited shade. This time of year, after good rains, the grass gets quite tall in the tracks as well, so I recommend a seed net for your radiator. We run into these guys yet again on our way back. I'm definitely not complaining though. Incidentally, it's pretty difficult getting hold of wood here, actually, firewood. We managed to find these in Molipolole for around 35 pula a bag, which is not cheap by South African standards. You do get the bundles on the road that we usually prefer to buy in Botswana, but these are huge to the point where you won't fit those in a normal truck or car. As we're here for a few days, I thought I'd show you around camp, what's happening in the car and the trailer, and just generally how we camp. So first off, at the back here, if you haven't seen my previous video, I've recently had to upgrade my whole dual battery system in the car. That's working really well. So there is a video on Patreon if you're interested in more info on that. Behind here I've got a drawer system, all the DC to DC stuff, which includes a DC to DC charger, an MPPT solar charge controller, a smallish 375 watt inverter, as it's only for charging camera gear, and a AC to DC charger as well as a myriad of different ports and points and connectors. I've also got a 60 litre Engel Combi fridge freezer, and then the drawer system at the back. A recent addition that's really nice from Gone Wild Outdoors is this rack. It's basically an attic. It's a rack that mounts to your existing handrails, but it's really nice for, you know, soft storage and anything that that's light. It's not too heavy. It can take about 6 kgs. It's bulky but in the way. This stores it really nicely. You'll note I don't have the iCamper on the roof at the moment. That's because I'm throwing the trailers. So I do have front runners quick release kit mounts mounted to the roof rack, which allows me to take off the rooftop tent fairly easily without any nuts and bolts, because it does affect your fuel consumption, especially if you're towing and have an RTT on top. You'll see I've got the Easy On Swift awning on the car. That works really well. I only really use that when I'm just car camping, not with the trailer though, as it's not needed. At the back here, if you watched my rig walk around before, you know I've taken out the back seat, so I've actually got a deck system in here. In here is mostly camera gear, to be honest. I've now got the LifePo 4 battery at the back here as well. The recovery gear, trauma kit, medical kit, all of that goes in the back here. Have a look at this. So, front of the trailer, in the nose cone you have two LP gas, so propane gas bottles that powers the stove, and then as well as the geyser, a hot water boiler. So I recently had a new one fitted by Outdoor Campers. Thanks for a stunning job, guys. The previous Hansen geyser I had here just gave endless trouble, so very happy with this unit. It's from Duhot, and the guys at Outdoor Campers fitted it for me. As we base camping here for a couple of days, we've got the full awning set up. It's an L-shaped awning that attaches to the trailer itself. It's really nice in bad inclement weather. It gives a lot of shade. It's a bit of a PT to set up, but it's really nice. Over here we've got the kitchen. It's got a slide-out kitchen with a 90-litre National Lunar fridge that we've had from the get-go. Really good fridge freezer, and then a SMEV stove that hooks up to the propane I mentioned earlier. Up here's your pantry, so really everything you could need. It's got hot water on tap thanks to the geyser. This is inside the trailer. You'll see it's got 2 double beds, which is quite nice if you've got a family, obviously. For us it's just the 2 of us, so we usually just use the 1 bed. What's really nice here is I can stand upright, you can change clothes in here. It's very roomy, very comfortable. For solar power, I'm still using the Flexo Power Mojave 150 watts, both for 2 for the trailer and 1 for the car. This is the shower cube we use. Obviously the shower water comes from the trailer, but we've got one of these easy on cubes as the shower cube. Works really well. On the menu tonight, something a little different. We're actually making nachos. I couldn't show you a lot of the other dinners because of our lion friends coming into camp. The Dutch oven is a great way to extend your menu at camp. Very tasty. Morning. We're about to pack up camp at Moreswe, but before you go, we're going back to Khutse first, because that's closer to the gate. Stay there in the evening, and then I'm going to my favorite camp in South Africa, Botsalano camp. One of the tasks I'm not so crazy about is putting extra diesel in. Even with the long range tank, the closest town to here is Letlakeng, which is quite far away. So yeah, if you're driving around inside the reserve or crossing the CKGR for that matter, if you're going up north, the next fuel stop is some 800-900 kilometers away in Rockops, so carry enough extra fuel. Even with everything set up, it still doesn't take long to tear down camp. We're stopping at the gate quick, take out the garbage, so pack out your garbage obviously. There's some disposal here at the gate, and leave it at the campsites. We want to see if we can get number 9 for Khutse camps, quite like that one. we're back for our last game drive around Khutse Pan. Incidentally, this is Rocket. He's been the dominant male around Khutse for around 3 years, but there are some interlopers around. Didn't see him this time, but keep an eye out for him. We ended up at Khutse number 5. Couldn't get number 9, there's apparently somebody booked there already, but this will do nicely. It's really nice. Number 5 is not bad actually. Brilliant sunset as usual, so yeah, yet another tough day in Africa. I'm going to miss this place. Safe to say, we'll be back soon. We're just leaving Khutse now. Like I said, stick around. I'm on my way to Larako camp in Botsalano, which is also a favorite. We've just arrived at Larako camp. We're setting up camp. It's a long day's drive, even though it's 580 odd kilometers. We left at 8 and it is now 4 in the afternoon, so it's still quite a long drive. Let me show you around camp a little. Larako is definitely my favorite camp at Botsalano. How's this for a view? Not bad having all of these guys on your front lawn, so to speak. This is the perfect spot to end off this trip. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't been to the Central Kalahari or Khutse Game Reserve, I can highly recommend it. Yes, it is fairly pricey at the moment with Botswana park fees being hiked, but I definitely think it's a bucket list item. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, get out there.